Quick glimpse at the match tonight. Last year, the Cornell-Lehigh match was really a wipeout deal. At 150, Mike Stalford from Carlisle, Massachusetts, and his opponent for Lehigh will be Chad Watkins. Both he and Peter Yazzo on the right coming out to the mat, but Yazzo will not wrestle tonight. We'll look at the last move that earned that 6th point. If you win by 15 or more.
Well, he had a
18.
Chad Watkins coming in at 150. Mike Stalford, Carlisle, Massachusetts, junior.
So Chad Watkins comes out on the mat with a 19-0 lead for Lehigh University. Chad usually, last year, Chad wrestled practically the entire season, replacing.
Watch your hands on the face, gentlemen. Watch your hands.
Well, let's see. I think, well, that's right. Didn't Chad wrestle for what Tommy Togus wrestled last year? Mostly at 158.
Watch your chin. All right, you're good there.
It's from Ocean, New Jersey.
Well, that had the crowd buzzing, Shell. There's where a few seconds meant. He hit him with a 3-point near fall and held him in that position long enough to get exactly 1 minute and 1 second time advantage. That gave him another point. And that couple of seconds of time advantage gave Lehigh a technical fall. If you beat your opponent by 15 points, you get 16 points. You get 15 at the bell as the Cornell wrestler, Mike Stalford, shoots over the top, and Chad Watkins ends up on
stop right there, stop.
The offensive position.
You're down. You're up. Face me.
Again, if you're wondering what happened to Peter Yazzo, you can only wrestle 21 dates during a season. And after wrestling in the sitting out the Stroudsburg tournament and one more, it would be necessary for Yazzo before he could pick up the rest of the season. So Yazzo sitting this one out since Lehigh is out in front of by a score of 19-0.
Watkins got caught sleeping there on the switch, literally, because that's exactly what he hit him with, an inside switch. He didn't react fast enough. The 2-point reversal, and Watkins escapes, score now 4-3. In favor of the Cornell grappler, Mike Stalford, out of Carlisle, Massachusetts.
Lehigh leading Cornell 19-0 near the edge of the mat. Cornell wrestler's already out, but Watkins now trying to pull him in. Here's the reversal, Larry.
Watch the switch. Just jumps inside, really. Watkins left his left arm in place.
Watch your hands.
There's a nice leg trip. A la Yazzo. Drops in behind the leg, ankle, and powered to the mat. 6-3 score.
The 6-3 lead now by Stalford is as much as a Lehigh wrestler has been down the whole evening.
Use it. Both guys improving.
Joe, we mentioned
stop there, get off easy. Here. Top man,
in his familiar seat on the aisle, Dr. Peter Likens, president of Lehigh University. I am sure very pleased with the way this has gone so far. 19-0, Lehigh out in front.
Hold still. Top, you're on.
I wonder how many people thought the wrestling meet started at 8 o'clock tonight, Shell.
I know one that
Bottom
did.
Man. Pierre, bottom man. Caution. All right, hold still now.
I don't know. It was me. I must confess. I thought it was. It was an early start to an early beginning. We have never, I don't think that I can recollect, ever began the dual season in November.
No, this is the first pre-Thanksgiving dual meet that I've ever been involved in, and I watched them all the way back when I was old enough to stand up as Watkins gets a reversal.
2 points.
6-5 the score. 20 seconds left, still in the first period. 11 points up on the board.
15 seconds. Control.
Hayes, Watkins' famous cradle.
Except he ends up having to settle for a leg.
Well, he's got a hip.
Period ends. And it's still a 6-5 lead. We'll look at the reversal here by Watkins.
He's over the top right here. He just drives the hips in against the wrestler and crowds him out of the position and takes over the top.
Third period. Lehigh out in front, 19-0. But Watkins has his hands full in this one. Trails 6-5. Riding time not significant. Watkins in the advantage position.
Hold still.
Next telecast will be next Sunday, 11 a.m. Lehigh versus Wilkes on Channel 39. We'll have all the wrestling matches for you this season.
Watkins, I recall, Shell was the biggest surprise last year in a real hot contest that was here. I think it was Tennessee. And he was trailing, and Lehigh's fortunes weren't looking good. And he slapped that cradle on the guy and nailed him with about 30 seconds left. It stunned everybody. And I commented at that time, the last guy I saw hit a cradle like that was Jim Riley. He's now sitting over the bench. Maybe we can get Riley to give him the finishing touches. And there's that inside combination again, the switch. And he buck and wings him right off the top and comes back on. Make it 8-7. Each wrestler getting 2 points in that little flurry.
All right.
Watkins trailing by a point. Riding time is not significant yet, although Chad is working on up to the minute. He trails by a point with less than 45 seconds to go in the second period.
Control.
The official is Norm Pavlosik.
Here to improve position.
First time we've seen Norman, I believe, on a mat here at Lehigh.
Yes, it is. Except he might have been here when he wrestled for Penn State under Bill Cole.
You all right, son?
He's done a superb job with his magazine, Pennsylvania Wrestling Roundup. Did it for a couple of years, and
done a good job refereeing this match too.
Yeah, he's the collegiate editor, and of course Jim Butler is the scholastic editor, and they run it out of Clearfield, PA.
Let's go.
And I would injury time out. I'd recommend that high school wrestlers in particular. It's a very good periodical to know who's who as time goes by.
Jog your shoulder. Okay, he just needs to return.
We want to remind you that major funding for this telecast is provided by an underwriting grant from Rodale Press of Emmaus, Pennsylvania, Sheridan Printing Company of Alpha, New Jersey, printers of technical and commercial publications, Lehigh University, the Lehigh University Alumni Association, the Lehigh Home Club, and the Lehigh Wrestling Club, and by your Channel 39 membership contribution.
Take your position. Hold still now. Top, get on.
9 seconds to go here in the second period. Watkins trying to tie it up. He's got it tied on riding time, now trying to work up the regular points, and the second period concludes, and it's still an 8-7 lead for Mike Stalford of Cornell.
But time advantage is in favor of Lehigh's wrestler, Shell.
Takes down.
He's got a minute and 40 seconds riding time.
Position, come on your set. Let's play.
Pensive student watching some of the action. I noticed among the crowd on the other side of the group is my two daughters, Mary Kate Sheridan, who's a sophomore here at Lehigh, and her sister Betsy, who's Freedom High School senior. They're learning the tradition in the Sheridan family to follow wrestling. As Thad jumps in, gets a 2-point lead, trying to gain. There's 2 seconds, so he'll get a near fall, but he better get his head out of the bottom. Pull that arm out. That's it. Now it's a 12-8 lead.
You know, Larry, in the bouts that we've seen, Chad Watkins, whether he's won or lost, you got to say that he really gives you 8 minutes out there. He is a very aggressive, and I would say perhaps the most exciting single wrestler that Lehigh has had in the last season or so.
Well, he can't lose his time advantage. There's the cradle we talked about. I don't know, watch Jim Riley now. He's sitting over there smiling, grinning ear to ear. As long as he holds it, he's got to throw that leg in and then whip it. But he could lose him if the guy could come up on top. And of course, the referee says also, if you don't improve on it, we could we could call it as a stalemate, because you get out of position sometimes with some well-built wrestlers and you're just not able to bang it right.
Half a minute.
30 seconds.
Guaranteed time advantage, so we got a 5-point spread at this time with 23 seconds left.
12-8 is the score. He'll have another point for riding, so it's 13-8 at the moment, effectively.
I think what happened here, Shell, is that condition won for the Lehigh grappler. Nice back heel trip, but it's countered by
Control's here. Let's go. Keep working, guys.
Chad Watkins. He ends up the victor, 13-8. Makes the score 22-zip, Lehigh.
Shake hands, gentlemen.
And the score at the end of 150 pounds now is Lehigh 22 and Cornell nothing.